I'm gonna open up for the greatest coach in the history of coaching.
We're gonna dive into how to get your offers accepted, and whatever we cover here will apply to just about every market. So as my coach David Halpern, rest in peace, would say, if you're not taking notes, take notes. So here we go. Getting your offers accepted in any market, but I'm gonna go first through representing buyers, because the majority of our clientele is what? Buyers. The majority of real estate agents are dealing with first-time buyers, so we gotta know, how do we prepare an offer? So here we go. How to prepare a strong offer that is absolutely stronger than what? Your competitors. You have to understand, believe it or not, you have to understand the seller's needs. As a buyer agent, you and the listing agent have to work together, believe it or not. A lot of times we as buyer agents, we see the listing agent as the enemy. We gotta see that listing agent as your best friend, because he or she will be the difference between telling their seller, you know what, I just got an offer from a gentleman by the name of Victor, and my goodness, he wrote an offer that is absolutely amazing. And it may not be the highest, but the offer was so well written, he has followed up, his buyer is pre-approved. Man, I'd love to work with this guy. So how you prepare him makes all the difference in the world. Number one, it says, communicate with the listing agent so that you can learn the seller's priorities. What do I mean by that? Well, what kind of an offer are the sellers looking for? I always call the listing agent and say, hey Steven, my name is Ulysses. I actually showed your property on 123 Main Street. Thank you so much for allowing me to view your listing. It's beautiful, by the way. I wanted to ask you some questions before I submit an offer. And this is actually the conversation I have. What kind of an offer is your seller looking for? Very basic question, because I want to know, is that seller or sellers looking for a quick closing? Maybe they've been there for so long that there's no way that they're going to move in 10, 15 days. So what do? We might have to do a 30-day escrow, and the seller may have to rent the property back. It's called a lease back, where the seller now becomes the what? The tenant. And it's all in writing. A lot of these things may sound like foreign language, but believe me, once you get a buyer and we start dabbling and you're like, coach, I'm getting ready to write my first offer. God willing, I'll be there to help you, and we can sit down and come up with a game plan so that you can write an absolute amazing offer. But call the listing agent and find out, what kind of an offer is your seller looking for? Are they looking for a quick escrow? Are they looking for a longer escrow? Are they selling and also buying? A lot of times sellers, guess what? They're moving up to a bigger, newer home. And a lot of times they want to buy a new build, and guess what? That new build is not ready yet. So they might have to sell and get that money from the sale, but they still have to wait another month and a half until that new build is built. So what do? Well, you know what? My seller, Destiny, may not move out of that house just yet. So she might have to rent the house from my buyer for a month at an agreed, hopefully fair market value. So again, find out what kind of an offer is the seller or listing agent looking for. Tailor your offer to align with these priorities. I see time and time again, buyer agents just submit an offer and they never call the listing agent. And then they wonder why nothing ever happened. Another misconception is that buyers and buyer agents feel that the seller and the listing agents are obligated to send you a counter. Guess what? They're not. I always hear time and time again, well, you don't like my offer, counter me then. Seller's not obligated. We as buyer agents should what? Submit our highest and best. What happens when sellers test the market? They end up what? Chasing the market. Same thing with a buyer agent that submitted an offer that was either too low, because they were like, well, maybe the sellers won't bite. Maybe the sellers will be desperate and I can get my buyer a deal. Next thing you know, your buyer says, I really love the house, Steven. What can I do? Well, we submitted a very low offer, and now the listing agent, has closed the communication. Now there's 30 offers after a week. Always tell your buyer, what is your highest and best terms? I know you want to get a good deal, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, but what are your best terms? And always submit offers on houses that you actually see yourself living in it. Don't throw darts on the wall and see which one sticks, because I see that all the time. Let's submit 10 offers, and maybe one of them will pan out. Who wants to submit 15 offers for one buyer on a weekend? I don't know, but I think there's better and smarter things to do on a weekend. You know, I'm not saying don't work the weekends, but be mindful of your time, because there's no more valuable commodity than your time. You don't get that back. So as a CEO of your business, work smarter, not harder. Number 2, show financial strength. Make sure that you work with buyers that hopefully are pre-approved. We don't work with buyers or show houses to a family of buyers that are not pre-approved. What's being pre-approved? That means that they've gone through the process with a lender, with a bank, to find out how much of a house they can afford. If you don't know how much of a house you can afford, we're showing houses blindly. You know, do we show them a house of $2 million, or do we show them a $200,000 house? I don't know. I always tell my clients, listen, Victor, I know you're serious, and I believe you, but the first thing that we got to do before we actually start looking at properties is get you pre-approved. We got to find out how much of a house you can afford. Are you okay with that? And if the buyer starts giving you the runaround, it's okay, but at least you know what the motivation is. I'd rather you guys all find out what the buyer's motivation is now than having Steven waste six months of his time with a client that, guess what, had no intention of buying. Now he just sacrificed family time. Maybe he canceled a couple of modeling sessions. We don't know that. We don't know. That was a joke, actually. We should have applauded. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Nobody drank their cafecito today.
We are enjoying your presentation.
I love it. But I want to make you guys laugh. It's, you know, classes should not be all serious. Like, submit proof of funds. Does anybody know what proof of funds is?
Yeah.
What is it?
That you have enough for the down payment and closing costs.
Absolutely right. So, Destiny is my first-time buyer. She's going to buy her first place. If I'm going to submit an offer on her behalf, I'm going to ask her, Destiny, where's your down payment coming from? She might say, my parents are going to give me the money. Wow, that's fantastic. Then your parents need to write what's called a gift letter. And that gift letter has to be attached with a bank statement showing where that gift is coming from. But if Destiny says, hey, I got $30,000 saved up, I sold my car, or I've been working and saving, great. Send me that bank statement showing where that money's coming from. Because I believe you, the seller doesn't know who you are and where that money's coming from. So with an offer, we have to submit the proof of funds to show where your down payment, and like Steven said, all of your closing costs or the portion of closing costs that the seller may not cover. So when you hear, Destiny, I got your offer, but I don't see the proof of funds, you're like, oh my God, that's the bank statement or the 401k statement showing where that money's coming from. Submit proof of funds for the down payment. Another thing, offer a higher earnest money deposit, better known as EMD. So whenever we hear the word, hey, when is your buyer wiring the EMD? You're like, oh my God, EMD, OMG? I don't know, what is that? EMD is earnest money deposit, or better word is a good faith deposit. When we put an offer in a house, we're letting the seller know, hey, listen, my buyer has good faith in buying your home. And as soon as you accept that offer, guess what? My buyer will wire a deposit so that you can see that they're serious. And that EMD is part of the what? The down payment. A lot of times I hear that question, Ulysses, I have my down payment, but if I wire the EMD, my down payment is going to be short. No, that's a valid concern. But by the way, that EMD of $5,000 is part of the $17,000 of your down payment. And they're like, oh, okay, I feel better now. So we're here to explain and guide. And we as buyer agents, we have to know what's an EMD. Well, that's part of that's your deposit. That's your good faith deposit. And you have to normally wire it to escrow. And remember, escrow is a neutral third party. You have to wire it within 2 business days. So let's say Victor gets an offer accepted today, Thursday. His buyers have until Monday to wire that deposit, or they may be in breach of contract and the seller may go with another offer. So we gotta let our buyers know, hey, listen, Destiny, your offer's gonna get accepted. I just spoke with the listing agent. Today is Thursday. We have until Monday, but wire your deposit as soon as you can. Don't wait till the last minute, because what happens if somebody waits till the last minute? People change their mind. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I always tell my clients, listen, it's okay to change your mind. But if I get you an escrow 17 times and you change your mind 17 times, something tells me that you may not be ready, able, willing, or serious to buy a house. And it's okay. Just let me know. Offer a highest or higher earnest deposit. So the rule of thumb is that your deposit has to be at least 1% of the purchase price. But here's the kicker. As a buyer agent, you want to protect your buyer's what? Money. So you want to make that deposit as small as possible, at least 1%. So if my buyer, Victor, is buying a house at $700,000, how much should that deposit be? At least $7,000. If I'm the listing agent, I want that deposit to be as big as possible. But when I'm representing the buyer, I want to make sure that it's as least, so that in case something goes wrong, $7,000 is potentially in limbo instead of $21,000. So the listing agent may say, hey, listen, you have to increase your deposit 3%. So if the purchase price is $700,000, they might ask you to do a 2 or 3% EMD of $14,000 to $21,000. But at the very least, do at least 1%. That'll show the sellers that what? The buyer's serious. We're serious. We're not playing around. You accept our offer, we are going to go all the way. We're going to close escrow. Number 3, be flexible with the terms. Again, accommodate seller's preferred closing timeline. I always ask the listing agent, how long of an escrow is your seller looking for? There's going to be some clients that, guess what, are selling their house and they're still living in it. It happens. They might say, you know what, even if you bring me a cash offer, there's no way I'm moving out in 2 weeks. I've been here for 10, 20 years. I got a lot of stuff. I can't move. Okay, can we do a 30-day escrow? Yeah, but I still might need more time. You want to do a 45-day escrow? Or do you want to do 30 days and lease the house back for 3 weeks to a month? Oh, I can do that. Now the seller's stress just went down. But if we don't know what kind of options we can offer, that offer may not get accepted. So always ask the listing agent. Remember, listing agent is the one that has the what? The listing. Buyer agent is also considered selling agent, which is kind of confusing, but buyer agent represents a buyer. Listing agent represents the seller, and they're the ones that have the listing. Accommodate the seller's closing timeline. Offer a rent back, which we talked about. Rent back is also lease back, which means escrow closes, and now the previous owner becomes the what? The tenant. And everything has to be in writing. So, how to make your offers even stronger? Limit or waive contingencies. What are contingencies? Contingencies are conditions or stipulations that may be a requirement in order for you to close escrow as a buyer. Who can tell me what a contingency might be? There's a few of them, but I want to hear from all of you. What could be a contingency for those that have worked with a buyer or a seller, or what have you heard?
Inspection.
Inspection contingency, which means when you get an offer accepted, you're going to have a certain amount of days to do your home inspection, your termite inspection, any inspections. Usually it's 17 days or whatever is agreed. Another contingency. Who can tell me what another contingency could be? We talked about inspections, which is a very, very important one. There's a few more. Appraisal. What is an appraisal? An appraisal is a professional opinion of what somebody feels a house is worth at that particular date, because they date it. That appraisal is dated September 25th at 9 a.m. So when you hear the word appraisal, oh, they're doing the appraisal, you're like, what the heck is going on? What is that? An appraisal is the professional opinion of what somebody feels a house is worth in that particular time. And an appraisal, most of the time, is required if you're going to buy a house with a loan. If Destiny's buying a condo or a house cash, does she need an appraisal? No, because nobody's lending you the money. You're buying it cash. But if a bank is going to give you a loan, they're going to make sure that that house is worth the $500,000 that you're buying it. Because if it's worth less, then they're going to lend you less. So if you put an offer on a house that's 500 and the appraisal comes back at 475, they're only going to lend you 475. So guess what your real estate agent, hopefully, is one of all of you. Guess what we as buyer agents have to do? Negotiate that lower appraisal. Now you got to go back to the listing agent and say, hey, I got some good news and some bad ones. Always deliver the good ones first. Why? I'm going to say, hey, Victor, I got some good news and some bad ones. Which one do you want first? He's going to be like, oh, bro. Yeah, screw it, give me the good one. The good one is that my buyer loves the house and they want to continue. Okay, well, what's the bad one? Appraisal came in just a little lower. Well, how low? 25,000? Oh, man. Oh, I don't know if my seller can take this. Well, hey, talk to your seller. I'm going to send you a copy of the appraisal, and I'm going to send you an addendum so that we can renegotiate the price, because my buyer is a first-time buyer and she doesn't have $25,000 to cover the difference. Even if she does, because what interest are we protecting as buyer agents? Our buyer. Even if Destiny says, hey, you know what, I love the house, man, I will pay appraisal difference. Hold on to your money. Hold on, I gotta work my magic. I'm gonna negotiate a lower appraisal. What if the seller says they won't go down 25,000, but they'll go down 18? Okay, then I'm gonna go back to my buyer and say, hey, listen, I got you $18,000 less. Do you want to counter? They want you to put the extra 8 or 7. She might be like, you know, the most I'll put is 5. Then I'll go back to the listing agent and say, hey, my buyer only wants to do 5. Okay? Then they're gonna go back to the seller and says, hey, they can't do the other 8, but they'll do 5. And until you get a deal, you're like, okay, we're out of the woods. So appraisal is the condition in order to get the loan. We got inspections, we got appraisal, and then we have loan, which means that there has to be a loan in place in order for the buyer to qualify. If the buyer doesn't qualify for the loan, can they buy the house? No. So whenever you hear contingencies, those are conditions. Something has to happen in order for the buyer to be able to perform. Inspections, appraisal, loan, and then another one that we just talked about is the seller or the buyer may have to sell a house. Steven may buy a house, but he's like, I gotta sell mine first, the house that I own. And if I don't sell my current house, I can't buy that one. That's a contingency. And we submit an offer on behalf of Steven, but there's a contingency of sale, which means he has to sell his house first, because the down payment for house number 2 depends on house number 1 selling. So contingencies are conditions. So when I put right here, shorten your contingencies. Instead of the 17 days or 21 days that's customary, talk to your buyer, talk to the lender and say, hey, listen, there's a lot of offers on the table, and the listing agent wants to know if we can shorten or waive. I never recommend that buyers waive any contingencies until they know what the repercussions are. If you waive something and you can't perform, guess what happens? You're on the hook. If I tell the listing agent, hey, my buyer Destiny doesn't need to do a home inspection. We don't need an inspection period. We'll waive them. And then, in the middle of a deal, Destiny's like, hey, I want to take my uncle to go look at the house. I'm gonna be like, I thought we waived the inspections. You can't do inspections no more. She's like, well, then I can't buy the house. Shame on me for not explaining what waiving contingencies are. I can't blame her. She doesn't buy a house every day. I should have done a better job explaining. Here's another big one that most agents don't do and don't even know it exists. And if they do know, they never use it. Number 4, it says, provide assurances such as a pre-inspection or appraisal gap. What's a gap? A little difference. The way I've done it in the past on behalf of my clients is this. I'm going to call Steven, the listing agent. I'm going to say, hey, listen, I know you have a lot of offers on the table. My buyer, Victor, loved the house, and this is what we're willing to do. We're putting an offer at $600,000. But if the appraisal comes back less, he's willing to pay up to $10,000 of appraisal difference. You'll be like, ooh, okay. Appraisal comes in less because there's no comps, there's no comparables a lot of times. But man, this buyer is willing to pay $10,000 even if it doesn't appraise. You're gonna go back to your seller and say, no one is willing to pay appraisal difference except that buyer. Seller's gonna say, man, I still get $10,000 over if it appraises for less. Man, let's go with that one. It may not be the highest offer, but this one can potentially make me $10,000 more. Most agents don't even know, or they don't ask, hey, how can I make my offers better? How can I sweeten the deal? This is a good one. It's a great one. I've used it many times. Number 5, used to be a thing. I don't recommend it because it can be considered steering. Personal touch, a thoughtful buyer letter. Again, a lot of times people would take advantage of that, and I'm gonna explain to you all how and why it was done. I'm gonna write an offer on behalf of my buyer, and I'm gonna put on the offer that my buyer, Victor, and his family grew up in that same block when he was a child, even though he grew up in Arizona. Just so that the listing agent could sympathize and be like, oh my God, what a story. My seller's gonna be touched. And you grew up somebody else, but we just wrote a funny, heartfelt letter so that, the sellers could be touched. But this could be considered steering, because what are we doing? We're steering the seller. And steering is a violation of the fair housing laws. And we can also be in trouble, because guess who suggested that letter? We did. Buyers have no clue. Buyers don't know any better. We're like, you know what? There's 20 houses, 20 offers on the table, Victor. And we're gonna have to get creative. So I'm gonna write a letter that's very bogus, but just go along with it. Okay, if you want the house, he's like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna put right there that you were in the military, okay? Because the seller, I saw there's pictures of military, so you are now part of the military. So they ask you, just say yes. I'm lying. I've seen it. Next thing you know, the seller says, hey, where'd you serve? What? Now the seller's like, hey, you lied to me. I've seen it, I'm telling you. That's a violation. Buyers can get in trouble. Buyer's agents can get in trouble. Buyer's broker can get in trouble because that's a violation of the fair housing laws. Offer competitive pricing. Before we submit an offer on a house, let's make sure that we do what? Our comps. Buyer agents rarely do comps on a house. I don't know why. Comps is comparables. It's you look at houses that have sold in that area. If a house is listed for $600,000, that house may be listed undervalued so that they can get some activity. It's our job as buyer agents to do comparables and be like, okay, this house is listed for $600,000, but in that area they're going for $650,000. It's important that we advise our buyers, hey, listen, this property was underpriced because they want multiple offers, they want a bidding war. So are you prepared to potentially offer more? The buyer's gonna be like, well, wait a minute, why would they put it at $600,000 if it's worth more? Because they want, that's a strategy. So if it comes down to it, we may have to offer higher than the $600,000. Are you willing to do that? Well, I want to see the comps. Yeah, here they are. Everything in the last 30 days within a mile radius has sold for $629,000. Are you prepared to go up? Well, no, I'm just going to give them what they asked. Okay, then you might not get the house. Plain and simple. Analyze the comparables and current market trends to craft a strong competitive offer. Consider, here's an escalation clause. Again, we talked about that. The appraisal waiver or appraisal gap. Is your buyer willing to pay appraisal difference? Does anybody have any questions? Because I know that some of these things might be a little complex if we've never used them. Try it next time you write an offer. Ask your buyer, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like this house? Because if they say, well, I mean, I could get used to this house. No, this is not for you. You don't want to force yourself to fall in love with a house, because this is a 30-year commitment. This is not like buying a pair of shoes and Destiny's like, you know what, I kind of don't like this, but I'm going to go return them. You can do that. You can't call the bank a month later and say, Mr. BMA, it was really nice doing business with you for 27 days, but here's your house back. It doesn't work that way. So recommend that your buyers put an offer on houses they see themselves living in. I always tell my buyers after a showing, so what you guys think of the houses? Oh my God, I love them. Well, house number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade this one? That's about a 6, okay? What did you like and what didn't you like? Well, you know what, if it would have had 6 bedrooms instead of 3, okay, I understand. But remember, this is a starter home. This is not your forever home. Can you see yourself in this house? Well, I don't know, then this is not the one for you. What about house number 2? And I literally go through those. And you never want to show more than 3 to 5 houses. Because number 1 is going to be draining for you. And buyers, guess what? They're not going to remember the first house if you showed them 9. I'll be like, how was the first house? I don't even remember it. Is that the 2 story or is that the single story? Here we go. How to make your offer stronger than your competitors. Work with a reliable lender. Yes.
Back to the showing home.
Yes.
So, what would be considered in your experience a good amount of homes total? I know you said 2 to 5 per showing, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, pushing it no more than 6, and that's already pushing it.
Now in total?
Correct. So if I'm going to go show a house, and I'm going to go to Victorville, when Victorville is, close to 2 hours from here, on a good day, because the past, you get there and you won't go up or down on a bad day. So if I'm going to take that drive, I want to show as many houses that I can handle. I don't want to show houses where I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm already overwhelmed. Because if I'm getting overwhelmed, guess how the buyers feel like? I'm overwhelmed. Man, I need to take a break. Man, we need to go to the bathroom. I need to get some water. Man, we're hungry. They won't even remember the first 2 houses. I've seen agents that show 11 houses. I'm like, what is this, the Tour de France? Like, this is a marathon. What are we doing? Again, ask yourself, if I was the buyer, how would I feel if somebody's showing me 11 houses? I know that if my family and I went to see houses and you show me 11, I may not want to see you again. You just overwhelmed the bejesus out of me. We are going to get overwhelmed. Go to 11 houses, park, we'll do this again, check your map, hopefully you don't get lost and do a bunch of U-turns, hopefully you don't run out of gas, hopefully you have water, hopefully you're hydrating yourself, hopefully you're still in a good mood. By the time you get to house number 10 and 11, man, you're done. So keep it at the most 6, but if there's a ton of houses to look at, then we need to do a good job and pick the best 5. Absolutely. And let your client know, hey, listen, I prepared an amazing itinerary. I picked the best 5 houses, and I feel that any of those 5, based on your criteria, Victor, I think you guys are going to love it. I'm not going to say, hey, Victor, I have an itinerary for you. I have 27 houses for this weekend. You'll be like, say what? 27 houses, I'm going to show you this. He may not want to work with me just by listening to 27 houses.
Do you shoot them the list before you actually go out?
Great question. Early on in my career, guess what I used to do? I used to email them the list. Here's the itinerary, and guess what the buyers would do? I don't like that one. Oh gosh, I don't like that door. That door, I don't like that one. Do you have anything else? I'd be like, I just sent you everything I had. So now it's like, hey Destiny, I have 6 houses, you're gonna love them. I'm gonna send you the address of the first house. Looking forward to seeing you, and then from there, we're gonna go to the other 5, and they're all within a 1.5 mile radius. Who controls the temple? We. You are leading the dance. The minute that you submit the list, most buyers, because that's how we are as consumers, we're like, oh, I don't like this house. Oh, I don't like this street. Oh, this one doesn't like, oh. You'll end up showing nothing. Next thing you know, you went 4 weeks in a row and you haven't shown them anything. And then all of a sudden, your buyer meets somebody like Steve or somebody like Victor that took the time and met them at a house. And now you're wondering, how come they're not returning my calls? Because you overwhelmed them. So how do we continue to make our offers stronger than our competitors? Work with a reliable lender. The lender is the one that's going to handle the loan portion. That's going to get your buyers pre-approved. The lender is going to order the appraisal. But make sure that you work with a reliable and experienced lender. Because just like real estate agents, every real estate agent that has a license, no offense, are they any good? Not all of them. Work with a reliable lender. Use a lender known for closing deals on a time crunch. I see time and time again a lot of lenders often ask me, hey, can you request 45-day escrow? You don't need 45 days to close a deal. You need 30 or less. In a market that's competitive, the longer your escrow is, the less chances you have of getting your offer accepted. That's just plain and simple. So if a lender says, hey, I'm going to need 45 days, tell yourself, I'm going to need another lender. Because if I put my hopes and dreams in the hands of a lender that is asking for 2 more weeks to do their job, when most lenders get it done in 30 or less, I know lenders that will close a deal in 21 days. I've seen some of them that can close them in 10 to 14 FHA loan. I'm not saying every situation, but a lot of them have. So if somebody says, I need a longer escrow, no, that's not going to put you in a good position. Submit a clean and organized offer. There's been so many times in my career where I get an offer received as a listing agent myself, and it's an offer that's an FHA loan. And all of a sudden I'm like, where's the proof of funds? I get an offer that's an FHA offer, and I'm like, okay, well, the offer looks decent. Where's the proof of funds? Now I have to call the buyer's agent. Hey, you forgot to attach the proof of funds. Oh my God, I forgot. And I'm like, where's the approval letter from the bank? Oh, I forgot it. I'm like, I don't have to babysit this agent. We're making the same amount of money, but now I have to do my job and yours. Do you want to work with somebody like that? If they're already showing red flags, don't ignore them, because a lot of times, guess what? They're true. Submit a clean, well-organized offer with all the required documents. Again, pre-approval, proof of funds. There's an automated approval that's called DU. It stands for Desktop Underwriter. DU. You put all the information, or the lender puts all the information of the client, FICO scores, everything, income, debt, and then it'll spit out an automated approval. That's called DU, Desktop Underwriter. When you submit an offer, make sure that it's the offer, the proof of funds, information about their FICOs, and a DU if applicable. I've seen agents that submit an offer and they send me the offer in 5 different emails. And I'm like scratching my head, like, why did you need 5 emails? And again, it makes me realize you're new. And it's okay to be new, but who's coaching you? Who's guiding you? Because if I have to chase you down and again, do my job and do yours, and we're making the same amount of commission, no. I also add a professional email, body of an email, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Because when you send the offer on the body of the email, like, hey Victor, it was great speaking with you. By the way, please see attached offer. I do like a summary of the offer so that before Victor sees the 30-something pages, he knows what kind of offer and what kind of terms I'm giving. Why do I want him to waste his time looking at an offer that's going to be low? No, give him a summary, which I am going to show you guys what that looks like. Position your offers for acceptance. Communicate professionalism and responsiveness with the listing agent. The minute that you submit an offer, call the listing agent. Hey Victor, I just submitted an offer. This is Ulysses on your property on 123 Main Street in Lake Elsinore. Can you please confirm receipt? Time and time again, buyer agents submit an offer, and they assume that Steven, the listing agent, got it. Well, your offer went to spam, and you're waiting for a counter offer. You never got the offer. And then your buyers are like, Destiny, what happened to our offer? Did you check to make sure that the offer was received? It's our responsibility. So submit the offer and text them or call them. I would call them first. Hey Steven, it's Destiny with Keller Williams. Hey, I just sent you an offer on your property on Main Street. Can you please confirm that you received it? And let me know if there was anything that I missed. My buyers absolutely love your house, and I would love the opportunity to work with you. How hard was that? Very simple, but it's those basic things that most people don't do that gets your offers accepted. Stay accessible to address any questions. Steven might get your offer and he'll be like, hey, you know what, I got your offer, I have some questions. Great, call me back. He might be like, hey, I noticed that your buyer's down payment is $25,000, but your proof of funds only has 10. You're like, oh shoot, I didn't attach the other, I've seen it. I didn't attach the other proof of funds. Or I submitted the old one. Okay, well, where was their head at? Whenever you write an offer, make sure that you don't cut corners, make sure that there's no distractions, because a family is counting on you to help them get an offer accepted. And just let them know, do you have any questions? How can I make your job easier so that it's a win-win for your sellers and a win-win for my buyers? I want to make your job easy. If I'm the listing agent, I'm like, wow, that's great for a change. I don't have to chase anybody down. Great. Follow up after submission. Hey Victor, it's Ulysses. I sent you my offer yesterday on 123 Main Street, and just wanted to see if you have any questions. Buyers are eager for a response. Please let me know if there's anything you need. Another thing, I also let my lenders, the lenders that I'm using, I include them in the offer. So when you send the email, I'm gonna include the lender in that email. And I'm gonna ask the lender, hey, Destiny is the listing agent. I need you to call her and let her know that our buyer is solid. Most lenders don't do that. I don't know why. It's the simplest things that will make all the difference in the world. Follow up. Another thing that I personally do is not just the phone calls, because remember, the money is in the follow-up. If you get a lead and you call them once, nothing will happen. But every sale, every transaction, every shake hand happens after the 7th or 8th follow-up. So whenever you start getting leads, because I know you will, don't just call them once, don't just DM them once. Follow up, because everything will happen after the 6th, 7th, or 8th try. But same thing when you're following up on your offers. Hey, Destiny, it's Ulysses. Hey, I sent you an offer earlier today. I also left you a voice message. Please let me know that you received my offer. If not, so that I can resend it. Who wants the offer accepted? The listing agent or you? Listing agent is going to get paid one way or another sooner or later. We don't have a guarantee. So it's up to us to stand out, especially when there's 10, 15, 20 offers. What are we going to do to be seen? I personally do this. You guys might want to consider it. It'll do wonders. I love social media and video content. I don't look as amazing as Victor and Steven. I know my limitations. That's another joke. What I do is I grab my phone and I do a personalized video. Grab my phone and I say, hey Steven, it's Ulysses, broker associate with Keller Williams the Lakes. Hey listen, I'm about to submit an offer on your property on 123 Main Street. My buyers absolutely love your house. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm about to send it. Please let me know if there's anything you need to get this one locked in. Look forward to working with you, and have a great day. Let me know if you need anything. That 30, 40-second video, I'm gonna text it to Steven. If he has 10, 15 offers on the table, guess how many are sending him a video? None. Like none. When he sees that video, he's gonna be like, this dude is different. You gotta be seen. If there's 20 gifts and it's your birthday, Destiny, which one do you think you're gonna open first? Probably the one that has the biggest box or the cutest bow. I don't know. Same thing with an offer. I got 20 of them. Which one should I look at first? I just got a video from this guy, $1 million smile. He's energetic, and he's like, oh my God. Oh, let me check out his offer. Let me see what that was all about. Then I look at his offer, and I'm like, wow, great offer, great buyer, complete offer, proof of funds, down payment. Like, wow, I can't wait to work with him. And he sent me a video. Wow, it just made me feel like $1 million. I want to work with him. So guess when I present all the offers, because you have to present all offers, even if they're for $1, legally you have to present them all. My sellers will say, well, which one do you think will put me in a position to close soon? I'm gonna be like, well, these 3 are pretty solid. But let me tell you about the middle one. Listing agent, his follow-up was absolutely amazing. Check out the video that he sent me. Seller's gonna be like, oh boy, I guess we got our winner chicken dinner. Then I'm gonna call Steven and say, hey, listen, congratulations to you and your buyers. We're opening escrow tomorrow, brother. He's gonna be like, oh my gosh. Because I've gotten those phone calls. Hey, I'm over here with my seller, do you have a minute? Yeah, what's up? When I get those phone calls, I already know. We got something going, something's cooking. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? He goes, hey, I'm over here with my sellers. Congratulations, your offer's getting accepted. We're opening escrow tomorrow morning. Great, I can't wait to call my buyers. Then I call my buyers and let them know, hey, Destiny, do you have a quick minute? I have some good news and some bad news. Guess how my buyer's gonna feel? How would you feel if you were my buyer and I tell you that? You're like, oh, great. Great, and I'm gonna be like, I got some bad news and some good news. Which one do you want first, Destiny?
The good news.
The good news is that you got your offer accepted. Congratulations. The bad one is that you have 1 day to wire your deposit. You'd be like, well, that wasn't such a bad news. Okay, we gotta get on it because the 30 days start now. And if everything goes well in 30 days, you're gonna have the keys to your house. How does it feel to get an offer accepted? You're like, oh my gosh, I can't even breathe. I've heard horrific stories where people have to write like 50 million offers. I just have to write one. Well, you know, who you work with matters. You work with top agents that know their stuff. You don't have to write 50 offers. You work with Steven, you work with Victor, you work with Destiny. They know how to write offers. Their offers get accepted. I wonder who's coaching them. My gosh. Another lane line. You guys need some water, some cafecito. But honestly, the follow-up will be the difference between getting an offer accepted or continuing to go show 5, 6, 7 houses in 96 degree days. I don't mind showing houses. But do I want to show houses to my brother Victor 8 months in a row and 102? No, and neither does he want to go. So I'm going to maximize every showing that I have. And I'm going to show him houses that are going to be absolutely slam dunks. So that when he looks at the houses and his family goes with us, they'll be like, oh my God, look at this house. Hey, your realtor friend, you know, he listened to us. Yeah. I'm going to show you houses that you actually are going to fall in love with. And then when we write offers, they're going to be absolute brilliant. And then I'm going to call the listing agent. I'm going to text them. I'm going to send them a video. I'm going to follow them on social media. I'll be like, hey, heart. I'm telling you, you do those extra things and sprinkle that awesomeness, your offers are going to get accepted. I'm just mark my word, your conversion ratio and offers to accepted offers, because we got to track our numbers. You write 20 offers. At one point, 20 offers from 20 different clients, you will get 14, 15 offers accepted. But I also hear from agents that don't know how to write offers and they're writing 60 offers until they get one accepted. I'm like, my gosh, that's absolute torture. Not just for you to have to write offers on the weekend, because now you didn't take 5-year-old little Johnny to soccer practice. Your buyers are sick and tired of docu-signing all these offers. They're like, oh my God, I don't even want to get my hopes up. I've lost 50 of them already, man. Here we go again. Another one that's going to break my heart. My clients don't go through that. Why? Because I know how to write offers. Receiving offers on listings. Now we are not the buyer agents. Now we are the listing agents. We're making phone calls. We're doing open houses. We're door knocking. We're picking up listings. Now you get to review offers. Do you want to review offers, or do you want to be at the mercy of somebody reviewing your offer? I don't know about you guys, but I want to review offers. I don't want to be at the mercy of anyone. So now all of you are listing agents. So let's manifest that we are going to be unbelievable listing agents in 2026. What we got to do first is look at the offer price. How much is your listing listed at? $550. How much is the offer for? $500. And they tell you, I'm sending you a strong offer. You're like, buddy, $50,000 less? Come on now. Evaluate if the offer aligns with the market. You put the house for $600,000. The market is actually trending at $630,000, and you get an offer at $500,000, and they tell you it's a strong offer. $100,000 less than what you put it at. Is that a strong offer? Absolutely not. Financing terms. What kind of offer did you get? Is it an FHA offer? Is it a VA offer? Is it a conventional offer? What other offer can we get? FHA, VA, conventional,
All cash.
all cash, baby. How soon can we close with an all cash offer?
Just a little bit, 10 days.
I love it, yeah. As fast as you can wire. How fast can you go to the bank, Destiny, and wire that 500K? She's like, I don't know. Bank of America is across the street. There you go. Wire the whole amount. I've done 5-day closings. I mean, it's like you tie your shoelaces and you just open escrow and you're closing, and you're like, oh my gosh, fast. That's the beauty about cash offers. What is an FHA offer? It's an offer from a first-time buyer. How much down payment do they need? 3.5% down. VA offers. Who are those for? Veterans. Can a veteran buy a house with a VA loan and rent it out? No, it has to be owner occupied.